In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Nearly 2,000 years before the birth of Prophet Muhammad, there lived a community in the ancient region of Haran, near the land of Sham, what we know today as Greater Syria. These people had once known the truth, but over time they turned away from the worship of Allah. They forgot their Creator and began bowing to idols and false gods of their own making. And so, out of His infinite mercy, Almighty Allah chose one of His noble servants, Prophet Ayyub, peace be upon him, to guide them back to the light of Tawheed, the pure belief in the oneness of Allah. Prophet Ayyub, A.S., was a man of remarkable beauty and great physical strength. Allah had blessed him with everything a human heart could desire: a righteous heart, 12 devoted sons, and a loving, faithful wife, Rahima, A.S. Rahima came from the noble lineage of Prophet Joseph, peace be upon him. She was a woman of purity and patience, a true companion in every moment of ease and every storm of trial. When wealth surrounded them, she was grateful. When hardship struck, she was steadfast. Through every test, she stood by her husband with unwavering faith, endless love, and a heart full of devotion to Allah. Their story is not just one of suffering and patience. It is a timeless reminder that true faith shines brightest when the world around you turns dark. Almighty Allah blessed Prophet Ayyub with immense wealth. In the Bosnian region of Haran, he owned vast lands. He also had countless camels, cows, horses, donkeys, and goats. His home was a shelter for many people. Numerous servants and workers lived and worked in his large household. One day, in the spacious courtyard of Prophet Ayyub's house, 2 of his workers were having a conversation. One of them said happily, "I feel so blessed to work in this house. Our master, Prophet Ayyub, treats us with so much respect and kindness. He always pays us our wages on time every month. I'm truly grateful to him." The other worker replied, "Whenever someone in my family falls ill, Prophet Ayyub arranges for their treatment. What amazes me the most is that he allows us to eat the same food that he himself eats." Just then, a female worker walked past them carrying a basket full of bread. She asked, "Are you talking about our master, Prophet Ayyub?" Then she added, "May Allah bless our master even more. Last year, my family could barely harvest any crops. At that time, Prophet Ayyub gave us extra wheat to help us survive." Another worker joined the conversation and said, "Prophet Ayyub is truly a mercy from Allah for us. He cares for us deeply and always checks on our needs." His kindness was not limited to his own household. He would help people across the entire Haran region. Because of his generosity and kind nature, Prophet Ayyub was highly respected in Haran. Every year during the harvest season, he would give away most of his crops to the poor, orphans, and needy people. At a small market in the region, an old man was speaking with his friend about the generosity of Prophet Ayyub. With deep emotion in his voice, he said, "I don't know what would have happened to my family without his help. A few months ago, I lost my job and couldn't feed my children. During that difficult time, Prophet Ayyub provided us with food, and even now, he continues to support my family." The old man's friend responded, "I also faced a terrible crisis once. A natural disaster destroyed all my crops. I went to the house of Prophet Ayyub in search of help. He welcomed me like an honored guest. He gave me food, shelter, and everything I needed to rebuild my life." On the other side of the marketplace, a widow was having a conversation with a few other women. She said, "Last week, my child became seriously ill. I had no money to afford treatment, but when I sought help from Prophet Ayyub, he immediately sent a doctor and covered all the expenses." The women present listened to the widow's words with great respect. They all agreed that the presence of Prophet Ayyub was a special mercy from Almighty Allah for all the people of the Quran. One day, Prophet Ayyub was spending time with his family. One of his sons said, "Dear father, you give away most of our wealth in charity. Won't that harm us in the future?" Prophet Ayyub salam gently replied, "My son, all the wealth in this world is a trust from Almighty Allah. When we give from it, Allah increases it and blesses it even more." Upon hearing this, Rahima agreed and added, "My son, your father is right. Wealth, happiness and peace, all of it comes from Almighty Allah. In every moment of our lives, we must remain obedient to Him." At that time, the region of Haran was very fertile. It had vast flat lands and many cultivated fields. The people of that region lived simple lives. However, drought and pests destroying crops were common occurrences. Prophet Ayyub salam would help the people of that area during every hardship. Every day, large crowds would gather at his home. They came to meet him and seek his advice. The workers of Prophet Ayyub salam would stay busy caring for livestock. The farmers would bring him news of the crops. Even with all his responsibilities, Prophet Ayyub salam never neglected his worship of Almighty Allah. He was always grateful to Allah for all his blessings. Prophet Ayyub salam was a role model for all the people in the region of Haran. Despite having immense wealth, he was never arrogant. Instead, his wealth made him even more humble before Almighty Allah and more eager to help the poor and needy. Before we begin the main part of the story, we ask you to watch this video till the end. If you feel any part needs improvement, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Now let's begin. The cursed Lars had decided to mislead Prophet Ayyub. He tried many times to lead him astray, but failed every time. After so many failures, the cursed devil became deeply frustrated. Then Lars raised a complaint before Almighty Allah and said, "O my Lord, I have tried everything to mislead your servant Ayyub salam, but I have not been able to succeed." Almighty Allah responded, "Why do you think you cannot mislead my servant Ayyub?" Lars replied, "O my Lord, how can I succeed when you have blessed Ayyub salam with land, crops, countless animals, and many other blessings? You have never tested him with hardship. I tried to fill his heart with greed for wealth so that he would become ungrateful. But whenever I whispered to him, he would say, 'I seek refuge with my Lord from the cursed devil. All praise belongs to Allah who gives endless blessings.'" Then La said sorrowfully, "O my Lord, you have also given Ayyub salam righteous children. He has 12 sons who are all obedient to their parents. I tried to create conflict among them. I whispered to them, 'Rebel against your father, fight among yourselves and claim your share of the wealth.' But instead of fighting, they became even closer to each other and started honoring their parents even more." With bitterness, Lars continued, "The wife of Ayyub salam, Rahima, is a patient and pious woman. Whenever I tried to create tiredness or doubt in her heart, she would say, 'I seek refuge with Almighty Allah from the cursed devil.' Then she would worship you even more and seek your protection with greater sincerity." Shayan then said to Almighty Allah, "O my Lord, if you take away all the wealth and blessings from Ayyub, only then I will be able to mislead him." But Almighty Allah replied, "O cursed Shayan, no matter how many trials befall my servant Ayyub, he will never go astray. The more tests I place upon him, the more he will seek refuge in me. I will test my servant Ayyub so that he becomes an example for all of mankind." Then Almighty Allah began to take back all the blessings he had once given to Prophet Ayyub salam. One day, a worker came running and said, "O Ayyub salam, all your camels have mysteriously died." Prophet Ayyub salam calmly replied, "All these camels were blessings from my Lord. He has taken them back by his will. I am pleased with whatever my Lord decides." The next day, another messenger arrived with more bad news. "All your cows, goats, and horses have also died." Even at this, Prophet Ayyub salam remained calm and said, "I seek refuge in my Lord." The following day, another tragedy struck. All your crops have been destroyed by a swarm of insects. Again, Prophet Ayyub peacefully said, I seek refuge in my Lord. One by one, all his crops, animals, and wealth were lost. Nothing remained except his large house. The once green fields were now empty. The beautiful gardens were gone. The land where thousands of animals used to graze now stood silent and lifeless. Prophet Ayyub alayhissalam was tested with severe trials. He was forced to sell his land to pay the wages of his workers. Those workers who once lived happily while working for him now faced a harsh reality. One sad afternoon, Prophet Ayyub gathered all his workers and said, I have called you all to discuss something important. Then, in a calm voice, he said, May Almighty Allah have mercy on you. I am no longer able to pay your wages. You should find new work to support yourselves. The workers stood silently with their heads lowered. They couldn't understand how everything had changed so suddenly. One of them, with tears in his eyes, said, O Ayyub salam, when you had the means, you always gave us more than we needed. Surely Almighty Allah is testing you. He will remove your hardship soon. Everyone present said together, Amen. That night, under the moonlight, a few of his former workers gathered outside the small cottage where Prophet Ayyub and his family now lived. One of them, crying, said, One day, my child was very sick, and I had no money for treatment. Prophet Ayyub helped me. Another said, He was such a kind man. He never let us go hungry. He ate the same food that he gave to us. Even after all his crops were destroyed, he sold his land just to pay our wages. Oh, our Lord, please have mercy on Ayyub alayhissalam. Another worker said with a broken heart, We have no choice but to look for work elsewhere. We wish we could help Ayyub, but we don't have the ability. Still, we will always pray for him. May Almighty Allah show him mercy. Even the relatives who used to regularly visit the house of Ayyub left him during this difficult time. It felt like there was no one left in the world to support him. Only his wife Rahima stayed by his side. One day, a relative came to say goodbye. He said, Oh, I feel sorry for your misfortune. Please forgive me, I can no longer help you. Prophet Ayyub gently replied, I do not seek help from anyone. I only seek refuge in my Lord. Even after losing everything, Prophet Ayyub remained thankful to Almighty Allah. He never complained. He used to say, All the wealth I had was a trust from my Lord, and he has taken back his trust. There is no reason to be sad. One night, the wife of Prophet Ayyub, Ibrahim, asked him, How are you able to remain so patient in this situation? Prophet Ayyub replied in a calm and peaceful voice, O Rahima, the owner of everything in this universe is none other than Allah Ta'ala. I was only entrusted with wealth and blessings for a short time, and now Allah Ta'ala has taken it back. There is no reason for me to be sad. Our only duty is to remain patient in this situation and always thank Allah Ta'ala. Then Rahima raised her hands and prayed to Allah Ta'ala, saying, O my Lord, please grant me, my husband and my family the strength to endure this test, even after losing his wealth, relatives and all his friends. The faith and obedience of Prophet Ayyub towards Allah Ta'ala did not decrease even a little. In fact, he began thanking Allah Ta'ala even more than before. On the other side, the cursed Las saw that despite losing everything and becoming completely helpless, Prophet Ayyub was still expressing more gratitude to Allah Ta'ala. This made Las extremely angry. Seeing the patience and obedience of Prophet Ayyub made Las even more frustrated. He could not understand how a human could thank Allah to Allah so much in the middle of such hardship. Las then ordered his followers to gather. They began planning how they could harm Prophet Ayyub even more. Las said, Even after losing all his wealth, Ayyub has not changed. Now we must do something that will completely break him. One of the followers of La said, Prophet Ayyub has 12 sons and he loves them deeply. If we can harm his children, then surely his faith will become weak. With this evil plan in mind, Las took the shape of a relative of Prophet Ayyub and appeared before Ira and humble voice. He said, "O Sister Rahima, I know you are going through a very hard time. I want to stand by your side during this hardship. I have come to invite your sons to my home for a meal. Let me serve them a good meal. By doing so, I hope I can repay some of the kindness your family has shown me." Rahima, being a kind-hearted and pure woman, had no bad suspicion in her heart. She was happy to think that after so many days, her sons would get to eat a full meal. So she gave them permission to go. The sons of Prophet Ayyub happily set off towards the relative's house. But they had no idea what kind of disaster was waiting for them. At that house, all 12 sons gathered and began enjoying the delicious food. But at that joyful moment, Las started to carry out his evil plan. Under his command, a powerful jinn named Efrid created a terrifying storm. The house began to shake violently. The sons of Prophet Ayyub started screaming in fear. They tried to open the door and escape, but before they could get out, the roof and walls of the house completely collapsed on top of them. All the screams stopped. Silence took over. The silence of death. One of the relatives rushed to Prophet Ayyub and brought the terrible news. With a sorrowful voice, he said, "O Ayyub, I have come with heartbreaking news. All of your 12 sons have passed away. The house they were staying in has completely collapsed." Prophet Ayyub responded with a calm and patient voice, "Indeed, we all belong to Allah, and to Him we shall return. My children were a trust from Allah to Allah, and He has taken back His trust. I accept the decision of my Lord with a heart full of contentment. Surely my Lord is most merciful and the best of judges." The cursed Las had hoped that this news would break Prophet Ayyub. He expected to see sadness, frustration, and anger on his face. Butlas was shocked to see that even after the death of his children, Prophet Ayyub was thanking Allah Ta'ala even more. Las could not believe his eyes. He screamed in deep frustration and anger after everything. "How can you still thank your Lord?" Shayan returned to his followers. He was slowly sinking into the quicksand of despair. But Shayan did not give up. He shouted to his followers, "Why is Ayyub not breaking down? How can a man remain calm after losing 12 children?" Shayan's followers were left completely baffled by this. Shayan said to them, "We will not give up so easily. We will find another way. We will keep trying until Ayyub turns away from the path of Allah the Almighty." Although Ayyub was deeply saddened by the death of his sons, he continued to make dua to Allah the Almighty. He turned to Rahima and said, "O Rahima, always remember that we are weak creations. Everything that happens in this world is by the plan of Allah the Almighty. We must be patient and continue to obey Him." Rahima, with the grief of losing her son still heavy on her heart, agreed to Ayyub words. She knew that her husband Ayyub was a noble man. His faith and patience would become a timeless example for all of humanity. But Rahima did not know that even greater trials were still ahead for Ayyub. Meanwhile, Shayan continued his desperate attempts to mislead Ayyub. Eventually, Shayan had to admit that the true servants of Allah the Almighty can never be defeated by Shayan. Even after losing his wealth and children, Ayyub remained firm in his faith. In his rage from repeated failure, Shayan came up with a terrible and cruel plan. He decided to strike Ayyub with a painful illness. He called his followers and gave them strict instructions. "You will use black magic to create such a painful disease in Ayyub's body that it will cause him unbearable suffering." Following Shayan's order, the jinn created a strange and terrifying disease in Ayyub's body. As the disease spread, Ayyub's body began to weaken day by day. Painful sores appeared all over his body. These sores would constantly release pus, and the smell was so terrible that no one could even come near him. Along with that, he suffered from a high fever, endless coughing, and unbearable pain. As days passed, Ayyub al-Salam's condition worsened. His body became so weak and thin that his bones became clearly visible. His face became pale and lifeless, but even worse than the physical pain was the way people treated him. Those who were once close friends of Ayyub al-Salam, even his relatives, began to leave him. They feared the disease might be contagious. Even those who had once received help from him and praised him every day now turned their faces away. In this painful time, only 3 people stayed by his side: 2 loyal friends and his wife, Rahima. Rahima devoted herself completely to the care of Ayyub al-Salam. Day and night, with deep love and endless patience, she looked after him. Seeing her husband's pain, Rahima would sometimes cry silently, but despite all of this, Rahima and Ayyub al-Salam continued to thank Allah the Almighty. They never lost their trust in him. One morning, Rahima was sitting beside Ayyub al-Salam, who was lying on an old mat. She looked at his face, so pale, so tired. But even in those weak eyes, she saw a shining light of faith. Rahima held his hand tightly and gently said, "No matter what happens, I will always stay by your side. I know Allah the Almighty is testing us, but sometimes when I remember the days of our past, I feel overwhelmed with emotion." Seeing this devotion, Shayan came up with a new plan. He began whispering into Rahima's heart. He said, "Oh Rahima, just once think about yourself. What do you have left now? All your wealth is gone. Your 12 children have died. Your husband is sick and weak," Shayan whispered again. "Is your Lord not just? Is this the reward for your obedience to him? Did you deserve the suffering?" Because of these evil whispers from Shayan, a seed of doubt entered the heart of Rahima. That night she went to Prophet Ayyub al-Salam and asked, "How much longer will you endure this pain? Where are the days of wealth and happiness? Where is the beautiful past we once lived? Will you not ask Allah, the Most High, to relieve you from this suffering?" Prophet Ayyub al-Salam replied in a calm but firm voice, "O Rahima, I understand that you miss our old days of comfort and you are calling upon Allah on my behalf. But tell me, before this trial, how many years did Allah the Most High bless us with his countless favors?" Rahima stayed silent for a moment, then replied, "For 18 years, Allah the Most High gave us endless blessings." Prophet Ayyub al-Salam smiled and said, "Then should we not be patient for at least 18 years in this trial? I feel ashamed to ask Allah the Most High to end this test before I have shown the same level of patience as the years of blessings he gave us." Hearing these words, tears rolled down Rahim's cheeks. She realized how firm and unshakable the faith of Prophet Ayyub al-Salam was. The whispers of Shayan disappeared from her heart, and instead she began to thank Allah the Most High for giving her a husband like Ayyub al-Salam. Meanwhile, 2 loyal friends of Prophet Ayyub al-Salam were discussing his severe trial. One of them asked with concern, "Did Ayyub al-Salam unknowingly commit a sin for which he is being tested so severely? He lost all his wealth. His 12 sons have passed away, and now he himself is extremely ill." The other friend replied, "Only Allah the Most High knows the truth about this, but what we must do is learn to be patient like Ayyub. Even in such a terrible situation, he continues to praise and thank Allah the Most High. If anyone else were in his place, they would have surely broken down emotionally." Then both friends raised their hands and made dua, saying, "O our Lord, please grant strength to Ayyub al-Salam and his family if you will remove their hardship." The test of Prophet Ayyub al-Salam continued for 18 long years. As time passed, his physical condition worsened. The pain of the illness kept increasing day by day. He had visited many doctors and tried different treatments and medicines, but nothing helped ease his pain. People around him began to avoid him. They thought he had some cursed or contagious disease. Yet despite all the pain, suffering, and people turning away from him, Prophet Ayyub al-Salam never stopped thanking Allah the Most High. In the deep of night, when everyone else was asleep, he would sit alone and remain engaged in the remembrance of Allah the Most High. He would praise Allah, ask for His forgiveness, and never did a word of complaint or hopelessness leave his lips. Even when the pain became unbearable, he remained patient. This test was not only for Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam alone, but it was also a test for his wife Rahima. Every day she watched her once strong and healthy husband become weaker and thinner until he was nothing but skin and bones. Yet Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam never lost his patience. Even in the worst of pain, he continued to remember and praise Allah, the Most High. Rahima too had to face new challenges every day. People were so afraid of the disease that they avoided both her and Prophet Ayyub salam. To earn a living, Rahima had to work in other people's homes. But she had to hide the fact that she was the wife of Ayyub alayhi salam, because people were afraid of him and wouldn't accept her if they knew. Rahima took up a job as a housemaid in the home of a wealthy businessman. She worked very hard, cleaning clothes, cooking, sweeping, and doing all the household chores. In return, she earned a small amount of money. She used that money to buy food for herself and her husband. Rahima always kept her face covered so that no one could recognize her. Her days were passing through immense hardship and struggle. One day, one of the other female workers became suspicious of her. She went to the owner and whispered, "Why does this woman always keep her face covered? We are all women here." The house owner was a rough and ill-tempered old man. He came to Rahima and ordered harshly, "Uncover your face." Rahima was startled and replied gently, "I feel more comfortable covering myself." But suddenly another woman exclaimed, "Isn't she the wife of Ayyub alayhi salam? He is suffering from a terrible disease. If she stays here, we might all catch that disease." Hearing this, the house owner became furious and shouted, "Is this true? Are you the wife of Ayyub alayhi salam?" Rahima could no longer hide the truth. She lowered her head and softly said, "Please, try to understand. You won't be affected by this illness. I only work to arrange food for the two of us." But the owner was trembling with rage. He shouted, "Leave this place at once! Never return to this house again!" Rahima fell at his feet, crying and begging for mercy, but he refused to listen. With a broken heart and tears in her eyes, Rahima left the house. The following days became even harder for her. Whenever she went out in search of work, people would turn her away just because she was the wife of Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam. The news that the wife of Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam was looking for work spread through every alley and street of the city. Slowly, every door began to close for her. One day, things became so bad that Rahima had no money left even to buy food. She sat in a corner of their small, broken hut, lost in deep thought. She was overwhelmed, thinking about how she could arrange something to eat. Right in front of her, Prophet Ayyub salam was lying down in pain. Yet Rahima noticed something incredible. Even in this unbearable suffering, Prophet Ayyub salam was constantly remembering and glorifying Allah the Almighty. Seeing this filled Rahima's heart with sorrow. She thought, "How can I bring a smile to the face of Prophet Ayyub salam, even just for a moment?" Finally, she made a heart-wrenching decision. Rahima had very long, beautiful hair. At that time, such hair was considered very valuable. She decided to cut off her own hair and sell it. By the mercy of Allah the Almighty, Rahima was able to sell her hair for a good price. With that money, she bought all of Prophet Ayyub salam's favorite foods. She had only one desire in her heart, to see Prophet Ayyub happy, even if just for a short while. With the delicious aroma of food in the air, Rahima returned home. As she walked, she imagined the smile on Prophet Ayyub salam's face upon seeing the food. She could already see his joyful expression in her mind, and unknowingly she began to smile with joy herself. When she arrived, she carefully placed all the food before Prophet Ayyub salam, and with a sweet smile said, Today, I have brought your favorite food. You used to enjoy eating these so much. It's been so long since I saw you eat with satisfaction." Prophet Ayyub looked at the food in surprise and asked, "Where did you get such expensive food? We don't have the money to buy this." Rahima remained silent for a moment in a soft voice as she said, "Please eat. I just want to see you happy." But Prophet Ayyub refused to eat. He said again, "I will not eat this food unless I know how it was arranged." Rahima stayed silent. She knew if she told the truth, it would deeply hurt Prophet Ayyub. Then Prophet Ayyub spoke in a deep and serious tone, "O Rahima, if you are not speaking the truth, then I swear by my Lord, if he heals me, I will strike you with 100 lashes." Hearing this harsh vow, Rahima broke into tears. Then with trembling hands, she removed her hijab. When Prophet Ayyub saw her cut hair, he stood speechless. He felt that all his suffering and illness over the years hadn't hurt him as much as the pain he felt at that moment. He gently held Rahima's hands and said with a voice full of gratitude, "You gave up your beautiful hair for my sake. How can I ever repay such love?" Rahima, still crying, replied, "I just wanted to see you happy. I haven't seen you eat with satisfaction for so long. I wanted to feel joy by watching you eat in peace. I only want to be by your side. I need nothing more." The two of them embraced one another and cried. Their tears broke the silence of the night. After this emotional moment, they sat down and ate together with grateful hearts. Every bite was filled with memories of better times and the pain of the present. Day after day, night after night, Rahima remained steadfast by Prophet Ayyub's side. With pure love and dedication, she cleaned his wounds daily and comforted him with soothing words and gentle stories. Nothing could stop her, not even the fear of infection. For Rahima, the presence of her beloved husband was the greatest blessing. Deep in the night, she would raise her hands in dua and cry out in front of Allah, "O my Lord, we accept all your decisions with a content heart. Please give me strength so I can stay beside my husband forever. O my Lord, do not let me lose patience. O my Lord, bless me with even more patience." Meanwhile, the cursed Lars continued his attempts to create doubts in Rahima's heart. Whenever he whispered his evil suggestions, Prophet Ayyub would protect Rahima from those whispers. One day, Las came in the form of a doctor and appeared before Rahima. He said, "I heard your husband is very sick. I know a way to heal him." Rahima replied with hope, "Oh great doctor, please tell me. I want my husband to be well again." La said, "If you make your husband drink the blood of a pig, he will instantly recover." Rahima was shocked. She said, "But oh doctor, consuming the flesh or blood of a pig is forbidden." Las replied, "Allah has allowed certain forbidden things in extreme cases for the sake of treatment. You can use this remedy without worry." When Rahima told Prophet Ayyub about this, he immediately warned her, "O Rahima, be careful. Surely this is Shaytan, our open enemy." On another day, Shaytan appeared again. This time disguised as a righteous old man, Rahima greeted him with salam, thinking he was a wise and pious person. Shaytan said, "O Rahima, I know all your struggles and pain, and I know one way to end all of it." Rahima, full of hope, asked, "Please tell me, what is it?" Then Shaytan said, "If you just commit adultery once, your husband will be cured." Rahima replied firmly, "I would rather die than lose my purity. My husband will be healed the day Allah wills. I will never trade my honor to heal my husband." At last, Prophet Ayyub raised his hands to the heavens and cried out to Allah about the unbearable pain and trials that Shaytan was putting him through. As mentioned in Surah Asad, verse 41, 18 years had already passed in this suffering. Prophet Ayyub prayed, "O my Lord, truly I am in great distress, and you are the most merciful of those who show mercy." This is also mentioned in Surah Aliyah. After enduring constant pain for 18 years, Allah finally accepted the heartfelt dua of Prophet Ayyub. Allah commanded him, "Strike the ground with your foot. A spring of cool water will flow out for drinking and for bathing." Surah Asad, verse 42. Prophet Ayyub alayhi obeyed at once. His body was still weak, but he gathered all his remaining strength and struck the ground with his foot. Suddenly, a crystal-clear spring burst forth from the earth. The water flowed rapidly, sparkling like pearls under the sunlight. It was so clear that even the stones at the bottom were visible. Upon seeing this miraculous spring, Prophet Ayyub alayhi immediately thanked Allah with a heart full of gratitude. At that time, Rahima was not at home. She had gone to a nearby village in search of work. When Prophet Ayyub touched the water of that spring, he felt an incredible coolness and deep peace spread through his body. He began pouring the water on himself. Amazingly, all the wounds and sores on his body started healing rapidly. His skin, which had been damaged, became smooth and beautiful once again. Then Prophet Ayyub took a full bath with that water. After taking a bath, Prophet Ayyub's skin became even more radiant than before. His face shone with such incredible beauty that it reflected the glory and power of Almighty Allah. After finishing his bath, Prophet Ayyub drank that cool and sweet water. This water did not just heal him, it gave him unimaginable strength and energy. His weak and sick body became strong and full of life in an instant, as if he had never been ill. Then Prophet Ayyub raised his hands in gratitude and said, "O Almighty Allah, O my most merciful Lord, I am truly grateful for your endless blessings." At that time, the evening sun was painting the sky with shades of red and orange. In one corner of the village, Rahima was slowly walking back to their small hut. She was tired after spending the entire day working to earn a living. Carrying a small amount of food in her hands, she opened the door and was shocked. Inside the house stood a handsome young man with a warm smile on his face. The man had a strong and healthy body, and his face was filled with remarkable beauty. Rahima stepped back in fear and shouted, "Who are you? What are you doing in our house?" The young man smiled and gently said, "Oh, Rahima, it's me, Ayyub." Rahima stared at him in disbelief. She said, "How is that possible? Ayyub is extremely sick. I know my husband." Prophet Ayyub slowly walked toward her and said, "Oh, my beloved Rahima, it is truly me. Almighty Allah has healed me." Rahima stepped back again with tears in her eyes. She softly whispered, "How can this be?" But when Prophet Ayyub spoke again, she recognized his voice. It was that strong, familiar voice she loved so much. Rahima could no longer hold herself back. She ran toward Prophet Ayyub, threw her arms around him, and broke down in tears. Prophet Ayyub lovingly held her close and said, "Our days of hardship are finally over. Almighty Allah has accepted our prayers." Then both of them fell into prostration together, thanking Almighty Allah for his countless blessings. Their small hut, which had once been filled with pain and sorrow, was now full of joy and barakah. Rahima looked up and asked, "What will we do now?" Prophet Ayyub smiled and replied, "We will live our lives giving thanks to Almighty Allah. We will once again call people to the path of Allah and spread the message of Tawheed." That night, every tear from their eyes became a witness of their unbreakable love and faith. Prophet Ayyub and Rahima gave thanks to Almighty Allah for every hardship they had faced, because those trials had taught them the true meaning of patience and complete trust in Allah. In one hadith, the noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "When Prophet Ayyub was taking a bath, suddenly a swarm of golden locusts fell upon him. He began gathering them in his cloth. Then Almighty Allah said, 'O Ayyub, have I not already given you enough wealth?' Prophet Ayyub replied, 'O my Lord, I am always in need of your blessings.'" In another narration, It is mentioned that after Prophet Ayyub was healed, the mercy of Almighty Allah never stopped. One day, Prophet Ayyub was sitting in his courtyard when two huge clouds came down from the sky. One stopped over an empty granary of wheat and the other over a granary of barley. Prophet Ayyub watched in amazement as golden rain began to fall from the first cloud, filling the wheat granary to the top. Then silver rain poured from the second cloud, and the barley granary overflowed as well. Rahima cried out in wonder, "Almighty Allah has returned our wealth in ways we could have never imagined." Prophet Ayyub replied in a calm and gentle voice, "O Rahima, this is a special mercy from the Almighty Allah for those who remain patient. Always remember this wealth is a trust from Almighty Allah." Allah, the Most High, blessed Prophet Ayyub and his wife Rahima once again with children. Earlier they had 12 righteous children. Now Almighty Allah granted them 24 pious children. Among them was Prophet Dulk Alisam. Seeing this incredible blessing, Rahima was amazed and said, "I never imagined that the Almighty Allah would return our happiness in such a beautiful way. These children are living proof of His endless mercy." Prophet Ayyub replied, "O Rahima, we must always be grateful to the Almighty Allah. He never abandons His loyal servants." At this moment of happiness, Prophet Ayyub remembered a vow he had once made. During his time of suffering, he had made an oath to strike Rahima with 100 lashes. This was due to a misunderstanding, not out of anger or hatred. He never wanted to hurt Rahima because he had deep love and respect for her. Almighty Allah provided a beautiful solution to this problem. He told Prophet Ayyub to take a bunch of wheat stalks in his hand and strike her with it once. In this way, his oath would be fulfilled without causing her any harm. This solution is mentioned in Surah Asad, verse 44. So Prophet Ayyub gently tapped Rahima with a bundle of wheat. She did not feel any pain, and his oath was fulfilled. Prophet Ayyub said, "Ora, I have kept my promise and my love for you has never decreased." After his recovery, the news of Prophet Ayyub's miraculous healing and the blessings he received from Almighty Allah spread quickly throughout the nearby villages. People gathered in large numbers to witness this miracle with their own eyes. They were all amazed by what they saw. Prophet Ayyub addressed them and said, "O my people, remember this. Almighty Allah never leaves His faithful servants alone. The difficult tests we face are actually a sign of His special love.